Officials are working to stop an underreported crime that often happens behind closed doors. While most other violent crime numbers are down, authorities believe domestic violence is on the rise. Our Rebecca Turco heard about this today from the mayor, police chief, and the U.S. attorney for D.C. Rebecca's joining us live outside the Wilson building. Rebecca, how do leaders want to address this?
Well, they really want tougher laws here, and while they can't legislate penalties, they can set sentencing guidelines. D.C. leaders are banding together in an effort to curb domestic violence.
This legislation is about making sure that survivors are protected and that their safety and privacy are respected.
The mayor, interim chief, and D.C.'s U.S. attorney joined officials to announce new legislation she's bringing to the council. Among other things, the wide-ranging bill would make repeated violations of temporary and civil protection orders a felony offense, let courts detain defendants pre-trial if they have a history of domestic violence, and amend MPD's public disclosure requirements by providing protection to victims or witnesses willing to come forward to law enforcement. The interim chief says domestic violence is fueling a 36% uptick in assault with a dangerous weapon charges. And U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says when it comes to strangulations,
right now, my office has filed 90 felony strangulation cases, and we are on par to file 360 before the end of the year. And unfortunately, the sentencing for strangulation is one of the second and probably the second lowest level in terms of the sentencing guidelines.
Strangulation was made a felony under Councilmember Brooke Pinto's Secure D.C. Omnibus.
These go hand in hand. Secure D.C. making it a felony and now working with the Sentencing Commission to make sure the penalties match, and legislation like this that also increases penalties for domestic violence.
Natalia Otero, a survivor who founded DC Safe, which provides critical interventions, says she's been advocating for protections like the ones in this bill for more than a decade.
It's important to have advocates and survivor voices at the table as we're thinking about implementation of this.
And I also got some additional stats from police just to paint an overall picture of this issue. Year to date, as of April 1st, half of all assaults with a dangerous weapon in MPD's 1st District were domestic violence related. And over in the 7th District, a third of those weapon charges were domestic in nature. Megan?
Yeah, those are sobering numbers. Rebecca, you know, we know the mayor takes this now to the council. Is there any pushback on this legislation?
So far, and I actually talked to the advocate who you heard from a little bit earlier just to get her perspective from a survivor's perspective, and she said she's supportive of the legislation. She still has to get into the weeds of the actual text itself. She's supportive of it as a whole, though, but she says this is just part of the solution here, that we need community supports here as a whole, community-oriented supports. We are live from the Wilson building. Rebecca Turco, 7 News.
Rebecca, thank you. And the D.C. Victim Hotline, we want to let you know, is available 24/7. The number is up on your screen right now. It is 844-4HELP-DC. You can call or text the crisis line if you have been a victim of violence. And if you are in immediate danger, always call 911.